a Chia Jam for you today, which sort of it gives you the sensation of enjoying jam without all of the preservatives or sugars or anything like that that may or may not spike your blood sugars. Now, whilst you might be seeing a Rorschach test in front of you, I've got the exact same recipe 2 ways here. So we're going to be using one method to cook this side and another method to cook that side. You can choose at home how you want to cook this, how you want to prepare this. And even though I've sort of got 6 or 7 ingredients here, you could do it just using berries and chia seeds until you adjust to the flavoring. So our first method is a bit more of a traditional kind of a method, so we're going to cook it on the stovetop. So our first ingredient is going to go in, and that's going to be our strawberries. So we want those to be quite syrupy to give them a little bit of a hand releasing their juices and relaxing the fruit. We've got some coconut water. So we're actually going to let that sort of simmer for about 5 minutes until the berries are starting to collapse. I'm not going to mash it up too much. As I said, I want to be able to see some of those whole fruit. I've got some lemon juice here, so I can pop that in as well. So this jam in an airtight container in your fridge would have about a week lifespan, but you can freeze it as well if you want to make smaller portions. So the lemon juice helps give it a little bit extra longevity. So maple syrup in there as well. And our last flavoring is some vanilla. These are all optional extras just to give it a little bit more of a traditional sort of jammy flavor, but it could be as simple as the berries and the chia. So I'm just going to let that soften and stew for about 5 minutes, during which time we'll be able to make our fresh version. So I'll tidy this up and then we'll get onto that one. So we've got our strawberries syruping and collapsing and being all delicious in our pot over there. So into here we're going to do the same process without the heating. So we've got, in this time, frozen berries. So if berries aren't in season, use your favorite frozen berries. So we've got a mix of blackberries, blueberries, raspberries in here. Same ingredients: coconut water, lemon juice, maple syrup. You could use liquid stevia if you sort of are averse to maple syrup, vanilla bean. I'll give that a bit of a blitz first so that we can start to release some of those juices before we add our chia seeds. So this is going to be a much smoother jam, sort of all one texture without the visibility of individual berries. So we've still got a little bit of texture in there. I'm using white chia seeds for our jam so that we can maintain the natural color of them. If I was to use black chia seeds, both have got the same nutrient quality and density, etc., but they will muddy the appearance. So if you want this to be looking like a proper jam or a jam that you're kind of used to, use the white ones because it doesn't detract from the color. It is as simple as that. The chia seeds expand to up to 20 times their weight holding on to the liquid, so they actually become quite jelly-like. So I can start to spoon that into our jars, and by the time that's finished, our strawberries will be on their way too. So we have jarred our frozen mix, and our strawberries have started to collapse, really already quite jammy. So I'm going to add our chia seeds to that. We'll give it a good stir and then we can jar that one as well. And I'll take that off the heat now. There will be enough residual heat in there that we won't need to add any more. And those chia seeds will start to absorb all of that liquid. The chia seeds actually sort of look quite similar to the strawberry seeds on the outside of the texture. So this one probably looks even more like a traditional jam than our forest fruits or our mixed berries. So very carefully, while it is still hot, we're just going to pop all of our jam into the jars. So this will get even more jammy and set reasonably firm and jelly-like upon cooling. So anything with chia seeds, I sort of tend to give minimum of 3 hours, but overnight for even better results. So similar with any kind of chia pudding or anything like that. So as you can see, I'm trying to get all of the solid bits of strawberry first, and then we'll fill it with the remaining liquid. So there we've got our two methods of making our jam. We've got a frozen one, we've got a cooked one. I'm gonna let that cool a little bit before I put the lid on. Both will have at least a week in the fridge. Just keep an eye on them. If you don't think you're gonna get through it, you can always freeze one if you're making 2 batches and come back to it at a later stage. But I hope you'll give that a try. A lot easier than a traditional jamming method. We've made one in less than a minute and we've made the other one in sort of 6 to 7 minutes. And without any kind of preservatives or blood destabilizing sugars. So this is a jam that everyone can have at your house.